Welcome back. Nice to talk again about building the relationship for the next level. We've talked about the first period of the relationship just very briefly, and I gave a quick helicopter, and I'll give you a quick recap on that. And that's about how anxiety intensifies the emotion. So it heightens your senses to such, because the adrenaline does that, and it does it with what we're doing day to day, whether it's sport or anything. So before the start of a race, the adrenaline's building up, which is giving us some real power out of the blocks, and that's what we have in a relation for the start. We have the power out of the blocks for the relationship. But how about this? You've now been going out for a number of years, and it might be 5, 10, 15 years, but everything's going to become quite predictable. Now with predictability, there comes a certain level of knowing what's going to happen. So there becomes a certain level of certainty or probability that this is going to happen. So you have a pretty high level of understanding what the outcome's going to be, and from this, the surprise or the anxiety to a level is gone. So you've got security. But with that, the boredom sets in. So instead of your partner suddenly bringing you home some flowers or something else, you know what they're going to come home, sit down and flop on the chair in front of the TV or whatever your usual routine has kicked into. So that comes out in that part of the relationship. So it comes out, but it also comes out throughout the relationship. So what do we do about this? Well, firstly, we need to understand that it's actually happening. And it happens in all our relationships, but it's not necessarily something you have to accept and live with. For years, it has been said that these things are going to happen, it's inevitable, and it's not going to carry on the way you want it to forever, and it's always going to be less passionate. But in actual fact, that's just because they haven't dealt with the next level. They've said, okay, this is all you can handle, this is all you can understand. How about we create some more excitement and anxiety through anxiety and that in your relationship. So we're going to get rid of some of the boredom. So your partner's not necessarily know what's going to happen or what's coming or what to expect. It doesn't mean it has to be dysfunctional or destructive, but when you do something out of the norm, which to your partner or for your partner, then it becomes that amazing sense of, wow, that was really cool, that was a lot of fun, and that's that level of unpredictability that you once had because they didn't know what was going to happen. So in actual fact, when we often hear this joke or this scenario about an elderly couple, you can tell they've been married for a long time, but because when they're sitting in the restaurant, they're not talking to each other. She's not saying anything to him and he's not saying anything to her, because she knows what he's going to say, and he knows what she's thinking he's going to say, so therefore there's no need to say it. So in actual fact, the communication is basically through grunts, groans, and looks through the eyes. Now this is kind of like over sensitizing it a bit and being a little bit harsh, but in reality, yeah, kind of like that does happen. We know what the partner's going to say about going out on late at one night, might be 10 o'clock at night, so let's go out for a coffee, or let's go down to the local bar for a drink, and your partner will say, oh no, it's just so late. Well, yeah, but it's different. It's something else, and it's something new, and you'll see that you've got sucked back into a routine or some sort of habit that is consistent, and the habit is what becomes boring because it's the known habits. So until next time, we'll just touch on this a bit more, and we'll build on it each day and get through some new ideas and new ways of developing your relationship. Bye for now.